So it was true. There's a private company that's been hired to put things in our atmosphere. Wow. We're going to talk about how that can impact our health and our food. It's literally shown how they do it, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. Whew. Big deal. It's funny how all that stuff that we thought was false is actually true, like we've been talking about for a long time. Also, we're going to talk about the warning. Trump warned these terrorists that if you keep on doing what you're doing, you will seek repercussions. And they have sought the repercussions, and we have given the repercussions. We'll talk about what the next step after these airstrikes are. Is it something that we should be worried about? Are we looking at another Middle Eastern war? I don't think so, but we're going to talk about that. Also, Trump did declare wartime powers. Why did he declare wartime powers? It's not for what you think. And then on top of that, this goes along with the wartime powers. Judges here that has never been elected are literally holding up the president on sending gang members out of here. Virginia had some busted, Venezuelans were busted, and now they're wanting to turn those planes around and bring the gang members back here, all because one judge who's a leftist says it wasn't right. Is it time for Trump just to break the law? You know, they've had him in lawfare forever. I think he needs to do just what Andrew Jackson did, and I've said this before. You start impeaching these judges. You know whose hand that falls into? You know, we've talked about trying to be the cool man. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson could end all of this right now, but it's going to take him actually having a backbone. Let's see what he does. He could literally start the impeachment on every one of these judges, and I promise you every one of these judges would shut their mouths because they want to keep their meal tickets and money still running. And right now, if we let them get away with what they're doing, this Trump presidency is over. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to the channel today. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm humbled by your support each and every day. It's hard to find. I know a lot of people are telling us that they feel like we've been ghosted and it's hard to find a new video. Please keep searching, and we do appreciate you sharing our message across this platform and to your friends and family. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel. That way you will be up to date with what goes on in this crazy world that we live in. Now let's jump into these stories. First, let's talk about this administration and what they just said about wartime declaration. Now Trump just came out and he instilled wartime declaration. Why did he do that? Let's go through this article that shows exactly why he did wartime powers. It says he is to target foreign games and immediate apprehension, detention, and removal. He knows that if he does not do this, what's going to keep happening is this judge situation where they're going to keep on trying to bring back people that he's deporting. Now, I want to kind of go over these judges right quick. We've had judges now know of waste, fraud, and abuse, and they still are trying to get the Trump administration to give money to the waste, fraud, abuse. Congress is backing it. Supreme Court is backing it. So you tell me we're not in a very dark place in our nation. Another judge. We literally are busting a Venezuela gang known for trafficking and murders. Literally, I kid you not. These people are known gangs that have caused mischief in America to a point of involved in literally trafficking and murders. And guess what? This judge is wanting him to turn the plane around so he can bring those same people that were convicted of harming individuals in America. He wants them to turn around and bring them back here. Judge invokes that and makes him do it. Federal judge orders deportation flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gang bears to return to U.S. because he wants them to be back here on our shores. Now you tell me what does that benefit us? What does that benefit you? Remember, this is happening in most cities. So how's that benefiting you if you live in the cities? That these judges who are unelected, appointed, these low-level judges are stopping a president who won 77 million votes along with the Electoral College. You know what's even sadder? And I'm just going to be honest with you, and this to me is the most urgent part of this whole video, is that Congress is so weak that they won't stand up to him. Andrew Jackson, when he was president, called Congress to impeach these judges, doing the same thing. They were trying to hold up his presidency. And guess what? He was successful. Trump could do the same thing. Trump either needs to break the, quote-unquote, break the law. I say that very tongue-in-cheek. He needs to literally do what he's doing. Don't even worry about what they're saying. Ignore the judges. And Mike Johnson needs to grow a backbone and grow something else probably and start actually holding these judges accountable. I believe if he put pressure on these judges, you'd see them kowtow and back down, because most of them are weak individuals who are just appointed, and these are gravy train jobs. So I don't think that they're going to fight the fight. I think they're going to back down. But what's going to happen if you see Mike Johnson and Congress not stand up to these judges and they leave it up to Trump just to fight the battles? America will not do what America is supposed to do. Trump will not get anything passed. He will be considered a lame duck, and his presidency will pretty much be over. Now, why do I say that? Because everything he's doing now, they're getting enough judges with money behind them from all these different liberal and leftist places to just stop it. Just stop them. Who's going to stand up to it? What, the Supreme Court? They let you down. Who, the Congress? All they're worried about is spending your money and taxing you more and over-regulating you more. So nothing's going to get done. So either Trump's got to defy it, Mike Johnson's actually got to grow a backbone, or you might as well just say, we're part of a sinking ship. We're on the Titanic. Now that's why Trump invoked these wartime efforts. These wartime efforts would allow him to expedite people out of this country quicker. Now here's the thing. Can judges stop that just as much? They're going to try. And the thing is Trump and his administration, along with the Republicans, actually going to stand up for it? When you think about the tariff situation, how much has the Congress actually stood up with Trump on this? They've not had his back. Most of them are like, yes, we're supporting Trump. I mean, the tariffs are a little much, but we're going to support him. Like they've kowtowed. Are they going to kowtow on this? Because if they do, you might as well hang it up. Nothing gets done. Like Doge. There's another judge that literally said, we have to spend the waste, fraud, and abuse money. Even though we know it's going to waste, fraud, and abuse, we're spending it. It still goes to all the places that it was supposed to go to. Another judge. Well, you're going to hire back all the people that you fired, even though they wasn't working, even though they wasn't doing anything, even though they spent hundreds of millions of dollars of the taxpayers' money by just not really working, not being utilized. They're still going to be able to be on the government dole. They're supposed to work for the government, and we're going to allow them to have it. Do you see what's happening? Is they're going to keep on finding more and more leftist judges all over this country to invoke the hold on what Trump's administration is doing. So it's going to be hard for him to get anything done, anything accomplished, especially if he has no help from Congress. Prime example, Doge. Doge has found tons and tons of waste, fraud, and abuse. And between judges and Congress, they've done nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I believe that you won't see the files released on that Bondi is saying that she's going to release. You know why? Because I think this swamp is too big. And this proves it. These judges are holding up a president of the United States from deporting gangbangers and human traffickers. I mean, does that not blow your mind? And the Congress was like, well, they shouldn't do it. They should not do it. And Mike Johnson's done nothing about it. It's kind of like the 27 Republican senators yesterday. Or 26, excuse me. 27 actually voted for it. 26 didn't. 26 knew of waste, fraud, and abuse. And they're telling you they support Elon. But guess what they did not do? They did not codify it, meaning they still let the foreign money go straight out the door. Isn't that funny? There was only 27 of the 100 senators that actually saw what Elon did and actually voted to see that Doge, what they have uncovered, is not getting money. All the Democrats and 26 of the Republicans voted to let the money keep on flowing. So who's actually fighting for you? So the urgency with this message is this. If you want to actually see America change, it's going to take Mike Johnson being a man and actually stepping up to the plate. It's going to take Trump holding his feet to the fire and saying, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to, quote unquote, break the law, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, this brings up a prime example of what I actually do like about what Trump just did with the Houthis. Here's why. Do I want war in the Middle East? No, that's not what this is about. These people took over our ships in the Red Sea. These people were causing damage to everybody's trade in that area. Trump warned them. And he's about the only politician that actually holds his thoughts and saying, look, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And if you don't straighten up, you'll be paying with your life. That's exactly what happened. They kept on threatening. I mean, they sent pictures. Now, they sent a picture. If you go online, you can find it. They sent pictures of a Navy ship literally gone, sinking, and a flag-draped caskets floating in the water. So you don't believe Trump's gonna say, you know what, you do that, you cause problems for the Americans, you cause problems for trade, I'm taking you out. I actually like this move. I really do. Now, I'm one of those people like this. I don't believe in war. I don't want to keep seeing wars fought. I think the forever wars are a joke. But getting in and getting out, doing the job and getting it finished is a good thing. The situation with Soleimani in Iran, good thing. The situation with the Yemeni, they're literally harboring terror, and we're just allowing them to do it. And Trump called their hand at it. I think this is a great thing. Does that mean we need to go spend 20 years in Yemen? No, but that's not what Trump is doing. So when he put people in the air, when he put the military in the air and said, this is your task, this is what you do it and you come back. That's exactly what they did. That is the kind of military I think that we need in America. Do the job, get out of there. Do the job, get out of there. Do the job, get out of there. It's just like this situation with the judges. Do the job, and who cares what the judges say? What are they going to do, throw you in jail? Honestly, I want to ask you this. Trump declared wartime efforts. He sends gangbangers and people that are doing bad things here in America over to Venezuela. The judge tried to stop it. What are they going to do? What if he just said, look, we're not going to listen to the judge? So the judge is going to literally throw the president of 77 million people in jail to protect illegal gang members from Venezuela. Now you tell me how the Democrats or the leftists would spin that. No, they wouldn't. So what Trump, I think, needs to do is do what he says he's going to do and deport these people. And who cares what the judge does? I mean, what's it matter? I'd like to see the judge. I would actually like to see the judge serve papers to the White House. So this little judge who got no votes, who was put in by Obama or Biden, because there's been judges from both sides. I would love to see them try to bring Trump in court for getting people out of this country that shouldn't be here, for actually stopping the waste, fraud, and abuse of USAID, for actually doing the job that the American people wanted him to do. I'd like to see that. So it actually may be time for this administration, quote unquote, to break the law. Now let's go to the next story with what's in the skies. I want you to listen to this. A private company in California, Make Sunsets, is launching a balloon to release sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, aiming to reflect sunlight and combat global warming. Now, hadn't we heard this before? And everybody said we were crazy and that we should wear tinfoil hats and we're conspiracy. Sulfur dioxide is a regulated pollutant under the Clean Air Act, strictly overseen by the EPA. This toxic compound is notorious for triggering severe respiratory problems, causing skin burns, and fueling acid rain. And once it's released, there is no escape. It will return seeping into the air, water, and food. When they release these balloons, they're doing it in the fact that once it hits the stratosphere or different parts of the atmosphere, the balloon would naturally pop, of course, and there's no way to bring that balloon back down. The stuff just seeps out and actually makes a quote-unquote barrier from the sun. Now, one thing you better learn real quick is that the sun is actually good for us. Now, I'm not saying go sit out there and get a sunburn in 100-degree weather and not protect your skin. I'm not saying that. But the sun gives us part of the nutrients and minerals that we need each and every day. Grounding, our earth gives us food each and every day. It's amazing how God has created this earth to actually provide for us what's in the ground, what's on top of the ground, the regeneration of agriculture, and the sky, and the clouds, and the oxygen, and the rain. Everything that God's given us is meant for our good. And here we are, men trying to play this false God, and ultimately now trying to quote-unquote block the sun. Now, we've heard this from people like Gates, and we've heard this, that this was actually happening, and then you heard the spin, oh, this stuff is not happening, this is not happening. This company, literally, read about them. They're literally doing it. Make Sunsets is the name. Out of California, and they are wanting to make sure that they protect you. By protecting you, they mean actually cause you respiratory issues, skin burns, and acid rain for your crops. You wonder why we're building a greenhouse? It's because even though I have gardens and I'm providing for it, even though I have cattle and I'm providing for them, even though I'm doing regenerative practices, I can't control sometimes what's in the air. So therefore, I've got to learn to build mini ecosystems, mini climate development. Microclimates is what they call. I have to learn to find new ways to grow food because I don't know if I can trust exactly what's going in our air, especially when you hear stories like this. So we need to make sure that we're understanding where we're at. What is actually taking place in America is we hear good things from this administration, but then we still see the fallenness of men still being able to do what they want to do. Judges still being able to stop the movement of Trump that we voted for. I mean, we're allowing illegal gang bangers to stay here instead of taking them back to where they come from. I mean, is that not still crazy to you? When I say that out loud, it makes you think, who actually thinks this is a good deal? Now, the people that think it's a good deal is the people that want to see America fail, which is probably going to be someone like the Open Society with Soros, or someone of the global scale that wants America and Trump not to succeed. They want to go back to the status quo where we waste everybody's taxpaying dollars and ultimately cause the demise where America actually just becomes part of the European Union. That's actually what they want to see. They want to see America degraded to just be part of one of the European countries. That's almost biblical. That's literally prophetic that what will happen. Now, I'm hoping that we can reshape and have a reawakening and revival that we wait and push that off way in the future. But ultimately, it's very biblical that you see America fall and become just like one of the 10 other countries, 10 other kingdoms. I mean, you're speaking biblical now. But why do you think these judges are wanting to hurt and harm America so much? Why do you think these congressmen are wanting this waste, fraud, and abuse to keep on going? Because they have selfish intentions, and they're probably provided for by other players instead of you as a taxpayer, what they think and care what you do or say. 77 million voted for Trump. Did you know that Doge's, the waste, fraud, and abuse that's actually being found, Doge's popularity is like 68 to 72% based on surveys. That's way more than the majority of Americans. That's way more than just 50%. Trump's approval rating actually is up. Trump's quote-unquote chaos that the news is telling you is actually not happening. The market actually has done okay. We talked about it yesterday. There's ways that you can fix Social Security, and there's ways that we need to detox the market, no doubt. But actually, it's not in peril like the news is wanting you to believe. But these judges, if you keep on letting them do what they want to do, and you keep on letting people play God by putting stuff in our atmosphere, you will see the fall of America. Not because you don't have someone trying to do better. It's because men are not being strong and having backbone. They're being weak and allowing it to take place. I put all this right now. I put every amount of responsibility on the Speaker of the House right now. He could stop every bit of this. He could impeach. He can threaten. That man is very powerful, and no one gives him credit. And to be honest with you, he's not accepted the task yet because he's a very, I believe, weak player. But if Mike Johnson wants to make a name for himself and actually be the right hand of Trump and actually do what he's supposed to do for the American people and actually stand on core values like he says he does, then his job right now is to pull something like Andrew Jackson and him and Trump impeach these judges. Get them out of there, either threaten them or either actually impeach them. And you know what? I'm glad to see people getting deported, especially gangbangers. But if judges want to bring them back and then no one is actually getting arrested for doing things that they shouldn't have been doing over the last few years like we've been promised by Patel and Bondi, America will just be a weak European country just like the rest of them, where nothing actually gets accomplished and we're just watching the demise of an empire. That's my message for you today. It is an urgent Sunday message because I want you to understand where we're at. As much as we want this to actually work, there are so many evil, dark things that are playing against us. And if we don't open our eyes to it, then we're just going to keep on walking straight off the cliff with the rest of the sheep instead of being like lions and standing up. It's time for Trump to just pull Andrew Jackson and do what he says he's going to do no matter what the judges say. Let them threaten Trump and let them quote-unquote try to put him in jail for this, for quote-unquote breaking the law. I want to see that happen. And Mike Johnson, again, the ball's in your court. You want to be a man and you want to be strong, this is your time to shine, to actually make a difference in America. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these stories. I mean, are you worried about what's in the atmosphere? Are you worried about Trump actually getting anything done because you got the lawfare against him like last time? You don't stop these guys, guess what? 3 or 4 judges is going to turn into 20 or 30 judges. And then you're not going to have a president to be able to do anything because his hands will be tied and Congress will be making money instead of actually worried about taking care of this administration and, of course, care of you. Guys, we appreciate you watching. God bless.
Be free, be free.